Hey class, it's Mr. Johnson. Are you ready to learn some math today? Hey, did you get the three truths and a lie correct? Turns out that Mr. Johnson doesn't eat much Chick-fil-A. I like it, I just don't eat that much. The grapefruit, pretty good. But Chick-fil-A, hey, you can go have it, wait in that line, the drive-thru, but I'll pass, and when we get back to Indian Valley, then I'll have the Chick-fil-A. But doesn't look like we'll be having that anytime in the next couple months. Let's join me. I'm going to look at some answers to the homework questions. And so open up. It's problem number 2 from the practice problems from last night, 7.5. In our first problem, for problem number 2, I labeled it A. It says 10 to the negative third times 10 to the second. And there's a couple different ways that you could show this work. A negative exponent means a fraction, and so there's 3 of them being multiplied. The 2 to the second means 10 to the second, so that we'll be multiplying them. And the 1 to the 10th times 10, they would just cancel. And so 2 of the 1 over 10s would cancel with 2 of those, and so we're left with just 1 over 10. Now the directions, though, said to write your answer using an exponent. And so the correct answer to this problem should be 10 to the negative 1. And most of you at this stage can see that the work that I did here is not always necessary, because it turns out that just a simple rule of adding those exponents together will create this. And so when we see a multiplication problem, we add the exponents. Let's actually apply that to the next problem. 4 plus negative 1, 10 to the third. Now, we could check it out if you write it out, but this is exactly what we want to be able to do. In the next rule, it's not going to be adding the exponents. So in this math problem, we're dividing 2 powers of 10. I'm going to write it out as a multiplication problem. And so on the top, there are 5 10s being multiplied, and on the bottom, 7 10s being multiplied. That looks a little messy, doesn't it? Let's see how many I got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more. And so for our final answer then, we can simplify common powers of 10. We're left with 2 on the bottom, so that's 1 over 100. But that's not as a power of 10. How can we rewrite this? Well, if we go back, it was 1 over 10 times 10, right? It's right here. So how could we write that as a power of 10? Well, exponents that are negative are powers that are fractions. And so 10 to the negative 2. Hey, look at what we do with the exponents here. 5 and 7 become negative 2 as the exponent. Why is that? Because here we subtract the exponents. In the last problem, let's write it out. 10 to the negative fourth 5 times. 1 of them, 2 of them, 3 of them, 4 of them. And now that we have all 4, I could write it out as fractions, right? 1 over 10 times 1 over 10 times 1 over 10 times 1 over 10. There would be 4 of those here, and 4 more, and 4 of those. But let's just use the rule that we saw up here, right? When we have a multiplication problem of common bases, we can add the exponents. So down here, we have a multiplication problem of common bases. So we're going to add the exponents. What is negative 4 plus negative 4 plus negative 4 plus negative 4? It would be negative. Oh, did I make a mistake on this? Yes, I did, Mr. Johnson. There are 5 of these 10 to the negative 4s. I have to add another one here. So now we have 5 10 to the negative 4s being multiplied. And now negative 4 being added 5 times would make the exponent negative 20. Good thing I caught my own mistake. It turns out that there's another way to be able to find the exponents to these power to a power. See, here you're changing a power with another power. It's not like the division problem here or like the multiplication problem above. It's its own separate problem. And you can see here now we can multiply the exponents to create that. At this point, some of you are probably confused. When do I add the exponents? When do I subtract? Good news. You should write a card with all the rules out. I've attached a file that's a picture of a great looking card. You can make your own. or you can use the problems and what you know to be able to make your own. Then there's a video that will also explain what these rules are, and then you've got a little quizzes. And so the activities today shouldn't take too long. Practice them up. You can do the quizzes as many times as you want. Tomorrow we'll go on to a new lesson, but I want you to just practice and make your own rule card today for the powers of exponents. Have a great day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.